On this episode, I'll be reviewing this, the world's cheapest 4K camera. Hi guys and dolls, JDV here for Evil Genius Entertainment, and this episode is going to be a real quick review of the Andor 4K camera. Now this is branded as several other things, so it might not be called Andor on eBay or Amazon when you go to take a look at it. But it's a pretty cool little camcorder. I like the camcorder functionality there. It's just turning on. It has a little touch screen that can flip around, so it can do things that high-end Sony cameras can't do. It has a little toggle switch to go in and out of focusing. It has a photo mode. It has a widescreen lens that you can screw onto it. I have one here. You kind of put it in, and it's a nice little tiny package. It makes very small video files, 4K, 1080, and 720. A little bit more on that in a second. Has a little battery pack here. The batteries are cheap. I think you can get 2 or 3 of them for like 15, 20 bucks right now on Amazon. You can also run it off of a USB battery pack. So you can run this thing for a long time, which is important because there is no record limit on it, and it'll take at least a 64 gigabyte card. I don't know if it'll take higher than that, but it will accept a 64 gig card. And with the 64 gigabyte card, you can record for, I want to say something like 8 or 9 hours straight if you have a battery pack on it. So that gives this camera a lot of flexibility. You could use it, to record football games or practices, soccer games, practices, play rehearsals. You could use it as a trail cam or as a kind of a poor man's security camera. There are lots of kind of applications when you have a lens that's this wide and a battery that lasts that long that makes very small files. It has a little hot shoe mount here. I haven't tried the flash on it or not. It has a little 1/4 inch screw here, and this is where the memory card goes. If you take the lens off, there's a little IR light emitter here, and it actually has pretty decent night vision. I would say shockingly good night vision. It's one of the things that almost no camcorder has anymore, and none of the cameras like Sony or Panasonic puts out has it anymore. You have to really look around to find a camera now that has night vision, and night vision has its applications. For one thing, if you want to make a scary, kind of like a Blair Witch style found footage film, it would, it's got a mind of its own. It's very good for that if you want to, again, use it as a kind of a trail camera and see what kind of animals are rooting around in your garbage. It could be used for that. Because it is so cheap, between $100 and $200, depending on whether or not you get the HD versus 4K version, it's just not very expensive. Oftentimes you'll see this packaged with a microphone on it because right here there's a little external microphone input, which is really slick. I don't think it has a headphone jack, but it has just about everything else, including a series of nice tactile buttons. It has, and it makes a nice little noise, which I enjoy. The little menu button. The touchscreen does work. At least for some functionality. It's super light. Has a little speaker, as you can hear. So it has a lot of cool little features on it that you might like. What you're not going to like is the image quality. The image quality, in a word, sucks. It's just not very good. For one thing, it's not true 4K. It's not true 1080. It's probably 480. It might be 720. It's just kind of hard to tell. But when you download the files, if you shoot in 4K, it'll say that it's a 4K file. It's just up-resing it in the camera. So really all you're doing is adding useless fluff on your hard drive when you use the 4K mode. None of these style cameras, as far as I know, actually shoots anywhere near close to 4K. I don't think they shoot close to 1080. I think 720 is the maximum resolution that this style kind of handy cam is going to shoot. So what are my recommendations? Should you buy this camera? I think absolutely you should buy this camera if you kind of want a camera that you can throw into a beach bag and take down to the beach. And then if it gets ruined by rain or somebody steals it or your kid steps on it or something, you're not going to be that heartbroken. It's not even as good as your baseline, Sony HD camcorder that you can get off of eBay or used off of B&H. It's just not that kind of camera. But it does do a lot of cool things that other cameras don't do, and it's kind of interesting. I'm going to be using this, I think, at least partially in a found footage horror film that we're getting ready to shoot here in the springtime. I just think I'll be able to use it as a security camera or as like a cop body camera or something like that. So it kind of gives you a neat little way to play around to get a kind of different image, all for about $100. Now, if you get the packages with this that come with a little IR camera, because when this thing is on, it blocks the signal, so it's going to give you kind of, it'll mess up your night vision. You can get one of those for $15. You can get a nice Rode external mic for $40, or get the kind of the cheaper packages that comes with it. So you can kind of build. I've even seen these things built up with, like little hand rigs, little cages. And that's a little silly to me, but you can do it. So I would give this a thumbs up. For what it is. Don't pay more than $200 though. I mean, that would be crazy. I wouldn't spend more than $120 on it unless you really need the look or you need a bunch of these kind of cameras. That's one other thing you could possibly do is if you needed like 6 or 7 cameras and you only had $500, well, this is a way to do it. You could also probably use this as a sound recorder because it does have that internal mic or external mic jack. So you can put like a lapel mic on and just use this kind of as like a zoom. You could use it just as an audio recorder if you had to. So it's a neat little camera. If you got a little extra scratch, go ahead and buy it. I have a bunch of links to like where you get the batteries, the wide angle lenses, and all that stuff below on Amazon. If you use our links, we get a little tiny commission. It doesn't cost you any extra and it helps support the channel. So if you have any questions, if you have your comments about this, or if you want me to review anything in the near future, go ahead and tell us down below. And as always, like, subscribe, share, and love each other. And hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.